everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making another one of the pop-up cards from Cricut Access. It is the graduation cap one and it's really cute. I do think it's going to be the most simple one of all of the pop-up cards that I've made so far. I've made quite a few of these, so if you haven't seen them, I'm going to link them all down below for you so you can have a look. There will also be a playlist as well, so if you want to watch all of the pop-up card tutorials, knock yourself out. There's quite a few to look through and I'm sure that there will be a lot more to come in the future. So let's jump straight in. First things first then, let's find this project. So we're on the home page here on Cricut Design Space, and all you'll need to do is just go into this search box and just type in pop-up, hit enter, and all of the different pop-up projects will come up. Let's just scroll down. It's the Cricut project section that we're looking at, and we've got them all here. Let's just scroll across and come up. Let's click on view all. There we go. And this is the one that we're looking for. This is the graduation cap pop-up card. Let's click on there. Just have a quick look at what it's telling us on this screen. So we've got a few different images here of the actual card when it's finished. There you go, lots and lots of cute pictures, and then a picture of what the pieces are that you're going to be cutting out to make this particular card. It does say 2 to 3 hours. It's an advanced card. Personally, I don't think it will be. I think this is going to be one of the most simple pop-ups that we've made so far. So this card makes an approximate 6" by 6" sized card. I have resized mine down very slightly just so that I could fit it onto an A4 piece of card, because if you're going to do the sizing as it is on Cricut Access as a 6 by 6 card, you will need to use a full sheet of 12 by 12" paper. I haven't got that on hand today, so I'm going to just use an A4. I've just made it a little bit smaller. All that's going to do is make it a little bit more difficult for me to put together. So if you are new to these sorts of projects, I would recommend that you keep the sizing as it is, or make it a very slightly smaller if you really need to. So then it shows you here all the materials that you will need to make this particular project. Of course, you don't have to stick to the materials that they're saying and the colours. I've changed my colours very slightly, only because I want to decorate and embellish it myself. And then it tells you everything else you need, like your mat, your adhesive, your scoring wheel, or your scoring stylus. And then you've got all of the information about how to put it together. Now, the reason that I do these videos is because these instructions are pretty rubbish usually, and sometimes it takes me a few reads to see what they mean and how to go about doing it. So that's the reason why I like to put these videos together, because I just think it makes it so much easier for us to follow something like this and follow along with somebody doing it. Now I'm going to click on customize because I want this on my canvas screen. So just click on there and it will import that particular project into your Cricut Design Space canvas. Just a quick note as well to say that this is a Cricut Access project. If you're not a subscriber, it will cost you a few pennies to be able to use this project, but in my opinion these files are definitely worth purchasing or looking to getting a monthly subscription. And don't forget, you can also get 30 days free as well, so you can try out a few different projects before you commit yourself as well. Okay, this is up on the screen now then, so let's just zoom this down a little bit. So now we can see all of the different pieces that are on the screen that we need to cut out. I won't be making the envelope today. I don't usually make the envelope purely because I prefer to use a pre-cut, pre-made one that I just have bought from a wholesaler. If you want to make the envelope, it's really easy. It is literally just a score line around the 4 sides, and it will take a full sheet of paper. Let's just ungroup to start, because I want to get rid of that envelope. So I'm just going to click on it and then just hit delete. That's gone now. What I would recommend doing once you have ungrouped and you've taken out the pieces that you want is just select all at the top here and then just regroup everything, because if you do want to resize, it's really important that all of your layers are grouped together so that you can resize everything proportionally. If you were to resize, say for instance, the inserts, and then you hadn't resized the outer piece of the card or the cap pieces, it's not going to fit together. So what you need to do is just make sure it's all grouped together, and then just use your drag handles to just resize how you want it to be. Next, we're going to go through to make it. Alright, so you've got all these different mats now to cut. I think there's 5. Yeah, 5 mats here to cut. So you have your insert, which is a basic cut. Then you have the outer card and the cap piece. That is a score and a basic cut. So your machine will prompt you to put either the scoring stylus or the scoring wheel into your machine first. Then once it's done the score lines down here and on these tabs, it will tell you to swap out for your fine point blade. Same with mat 3. There is a scoring line, I think, down the centre. And then you have got these 2 pieces for the top of your cap, and then you've got your little gold tassel as well. If I go back up to the top, I'm just going to click on to continue. This is the next screen that you're going to see pop up on your computer, and this is basically to set the materials. I'm going to be using a medium cardstock today. It is one that I've bought from Hobbycraft. I use it really regularly, so I know that my medium cardstock setting will work on it. If you are not sure, I would always recommend doing a little test cut, because some of the pieces on here are pretty intricate. These little wiggles and the little caps in the corner, they are pretty intricate, and it does require a good, nice sharp blade, a sticky mat, and making sure that you've set for the right material. If you are going to use the medium cardstock setting and you haven't got it as a favourite like I have, click on Browse All Materials. And then up the top here, in Search All Materials, just type in medium, and there you go. Medium cardstock is on there. You can select that. Once you've selected it, you'll get a little tick on the left hand side. Click on Done. And now that is ready to go, and you can cut all your pieces ready to make them up. When I made my score lines on here, you can just about see there it's got 2 lines on it. That's because I used the double scoring wheel, and as you can see, the double scoring wheel is exactly what it says, and it has 2 wheels there to score with. I like this one for tougher materials, and if you are using something that's a little bit thicker, your machine will actually prompt you to put in the double one. It does say on it that it is 02 as the tip number. If you're using the single one, it will say 01. This is the single one, and you can see it has 01 on there as well. So this is the single one. I do use this for a lot of projects, but for something like this where I want to get a really nice crisp score, I always use the double one. So now we're ready to put everything together. I've got my usual Collal clear glue that I'm going to be using today. I have just got my True Control knife here as well, just in case there's any bits that need any tidying up. When you have finished cutting, you'll notice that you've got all these little cutout bits here, so you will need to weed those out. And again, these little slits here that are on the base card, you'll need to weed those out as well, and on the front also. This piece is probably going to be last. Alright, so first of all, what we're going to do then is just get the piece that is the cap, and what we're going to do is fold that piece in half away from ourselves. And then we've got these 2 pieces here that are the triangles, which are going to go on the top here and here. Now on the actual screen it does show you these in a darker grey rather than a black, but I chose to use black because I want to decorate those myself. So I'm going to glue them on, but then I'll decorate them afterwards. So let's just glue those onto there first. When you're gluing down, just be sure not to overlap your scored section there as well, because that's very important that we've got a free fold on there. There we go, perfect. I'm just going to pop that to one side to dry for a second. Okay, now we need to get our cap piece, and this is the cap piece. what we want to do is fold our cap score lines. So this piece is now going to be glued like so, and you can see it's created the shape of the cap just there. Okay, now these two pieces at the bottom here need to be folded inwards, and then these two pieces here are going to slot into this base piece here, so they need to be folded outwards. It's really important that they are folded outwards. Alright, so what we're going to do now is glue the tab together onto here. I'm going to take a quilting clip and just pop that on there just to hold that in place on either side. Next, what we're going to do is get our tassel piece, and we're going to glue this on. So what we need to do is make sure that it will very slightly go over that fold, but we only want it to be glued onto the one side, so that's kind of important. So it can go like that, but as long as the fold can still take place, that's what we need. So let's just put a tiny bit of glue onto this. I'm just going to put it at this end. I'm not going to do it all the way down. So the glue is just from about there to about there. We don't want it to be all the way on there. And then what we can do is just pop that onto there. It's a good job this glue dry is completely clear, because I've just managed to smudge that, but I don't think it's going to be noticeable. Okay, that's what we've done next. Okay, let's have a look and see if this is dryish. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's ever so hot in the UK at the moment. We're having a bit of a heat wave, so it's supposed to be 38 degrees today in Birmingham, which is amazing, but not very good if you've got doggies or you want to be going out anywhere. Next then, what you'll want to do is fold your piece for your cap flat like this. So this is what it'll look like, with a bit of a bat wing sort of formation. Then what you're going to do is get your cap piece, and it's going to go on the top there like so. So when you open that up, it's going to be stuck like that. Can you see the inside tabs? It's very difficult to see with it being black, isn't it? So that is how that's going to work. Okay, so yeah, to do this piece then, what you want to do is tuck your tabs into the top of this base piece. Then get your cap top and pop it on the top there like that. You want to make sure that it's in the centre here at the bottom, so that it's dead in the centre of that tab as much as you can, just to ensure that we get a really good fold on it. And then this is going to be a bit fiddly, I think. If we open this up, what we're going to want to do is glue. So we don't need to worry about that, but I'm holding this piece in place with one hand, and I'm going to fold that tab back inside. Can you see? I'm trying to get it so that you can see. It's really difficult. So the tab is here. You can't really see it very well. The tab is there. What we're going to do is pop the glue on the tab, and then we're going to fold that over and press it in place. Can't get a clip in there to hold it, so I'm going to hold that with my fingers just for a couple of seconds until it's got a good tack on there, and then we'll have to do the same with this one, but we'll need this side to be dry. If you look at it from this way around, now you can see that that tab is completely on that line of the fold, so it isn't going to interfere with it when it does its pop-up action when it opens out. So that is now dry on the other side. I did pull it off just to double check that it was right, which is why that glue looks a bit dodgy. And then what you want to do is get the other piece and pop it so that it is in the same place there. So when it opens up, it's going to open up like this, rather than it being completely sort of flat and open like that. we want it to open up in that sort of shape. So we need to glue this tab now opposite to that one. I think once it's done it's going to make sense. Just make sure that you don't overlap your score line again. Let's just see, can you see that in there? So you've got the two different tabs facing one another. Let's just let that dry. Glue's really quick drying today because of the weather. I'm not going to fold it up just yet, I'm just going to let that dry off to one side. Next then you've got your two pieces for your inserts, and these are those. We are going to pop this together. So with this, these little tabs here go through these slots, and the best way to do this is to put them flat like that and then just put them through and then fold them over when you get to the other side. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue on here, and then you want to fold them backwards onto themselves and just make sure that they're nicely butted up to that joint there. Okay, let that dry as well, and then you can do exactly the same on the other side. So again, just grab your little tab here, straighten it up, pop it through that little slot, and then you'll want to just glue that on there as well. Don't worry too much that it's overlapping because it's not spread out properly as it should be just yet. So we're just going to pop some glue on there. There we go. Okay. One little extra piece that I do always like to add when I'm making one of these cards with the front cut out is just to put a nice coloured piece of card inside it. I don't really care for the way that they do it with the backing colour like that, so I like to put my own in. I'm just going to fold across this score line. You can use a squeegee or something to go across that if you want to, just to make it a little bit more pretty. And then all I'm going to do is just get my glue. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around here. I'm not going to go too crazy with it because it's unnecessary, and also we don't want it to spill through onto that card piece there. Another reason that I like to do this as well is because when you put this piece inside, if you are not careful, you can end up getting glue on those pieces. So it's nice to actually try and put that on there just to cover up the glue and make sure that you're not going to have any glue showing through. What you want to do once you've got your card in place is just pull them apart so that it stretches out the cap and it doesn't cover that score line. You want that score line down the centre to be really, really free. Now what we're going to do is just put some glue onto the back of this piece here, and you're going to want to make sure that you go all the way around the edges nicely. So I'm just going to put a bit around there, across the top, like so. Then I'm going to just pop that back down in the right place. You should have a couple of millimeters gap around the outside of there. And then what you want to do is do exactly the same on the other side. I do find it easier to turn it over to do it, so that I'm holding the glue in my right hand. I just feel like I have more control that way, but you just do whatever way is best for yourself. Okay, and round the edge nicely. Okay, and then we'll just fold that over again and again. Try and line it up now so it's nice and straight and not touching that score line at all. As you can see, the score line is straight down the centre, and that is the cap on the top there. We're going to let it dry a little bit before we fold it. Alright, so now that is all stuck together, we can fold the card. The one thing you're going to need to watch out for with this particular card is that your corners of your cap don't get folded in. So all I would suggest doing is just pressing them down as you fold make sure that that goes in nicely, and it should go pretty flat like this one. If you haven't got a completely flat fold, don't worry, it'll just be the placement of your cap. So what I would suggest you do is just try and peel that off the top of your card and then just fold it up with your cap inside like this, and then just work out where those tabs need to stick on. It is a little bit of a trial and error, if I'm honest with you, with this card. It's not quite as simple as it looks, even though it is literally like 3 pieces to put together. So that is how you do it, and then when it opens up it should stand quite nice and flat with the cap perfectly on the top like that. So there is the card. It looks really good actually. I'm quite pleased with that. My neighbour's daughter actually graduated on Friday this week from medical school, so I'm going to write this one out for Chloe and send this round to her, so I hope she likes it. And if you like it too, don't forget to drop me any questions or comments that you've got down below. Hit the like button to let me know that you like these videos. I know a lot of people do enjoy the pop-up tutorials. If you've got any questions, please ask away. I do always try to answer them, or at least like your comment. And that's it really, isn't it? So have a great week, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye.